just three brothers, Jim, Andy, and Steve. Every week we talk about
Hello and welcome to Doyle Boys, a podcast where each week us three brothers decide what is the absolute best of everything by going through a knockout tournament and deciding what wins each topic. I'm James and I'm joined as always by Stephen.
I'm present.
And Andrew.
I am also here.
Yay! And for the first time we're all three of us live and in person in the one room.
Is this the first time we've all been in one room together?
Ever in life.
Ever in life, yeah, it is, yeah. It's pretty hard.
For a long time now I've refused to be in the same room as Stephen.
Why is that?
It's pretty obvious.
Let's not get into
The whole doppelganger thing.
whole doppelganger thing. Let's not-
Doppelganger.
He doesn't know what the doppelganger
He is a doppelganger.
Ooh.
That's the doppel.
And on this week's episode, we're going to be deciding what is the best horror movie. This week, we'll be battling over 28 Days Later, Shaun of the Dead, Wicker Man, Hereditary, A Quiet Place, Get Out, The Thing, and Babadook.
You just read them in the order that we're going to do them in.
Yeah, that's what I always do.
This is what I have to deal with
The
every
shock
week.
factor is removed.
Normally I point to him and he still does it wrong.
Look, I listen to podcasts the whole time, and you
gotta do
immediately
the running
forget
order.
everything.
Yeah. Also, I think, to be honest, doing the running order is good, I think.
Yeah, to get an idea of it.
You know when you go on YouTube and you can see now
Where you can skip?
You can skip to the different bits.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kinda cool.
It's
It is cool.
Yeah. Is that hard to set up?
It's really easy to do.
All right. That's good to know. Cool.
It's good to know. It'd be handy to do
On our podcast.
podcast
fits
if someone did
Andy's-
that. But
I don't
literally all you
think
have to
that-
do
I
in the
don't think
description is put the time and some words. That's all.
People who want the option, I think, to skip Andy's corner.
That's probably true.
No, okay, I don't care about that. But I don't think this falls under the job title of a social media manager, does it? Because I don't think YouTube is social media.
No, it's not.
Am I the social media?
So what is YouTube then? Like just media?
Yeah, media. Doesn't have a social aspect to it necessarily.
Comments.
Below. You know what? If you think it's social media, hit us up in the comments below. Let us know.
No. Anyway, if you think there's something else that should have been in the top 8, or you have a burning desire.
Vertebrae. Oh,
If you have vertebrae and you think that one of them should win, you can reach out to us at Doyle Boys Pod on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the TikToks.
Yeah, hit us up on TikTok. Our arch enemy on TikTok, currently at 0 followers. Us on TikTok, currently at 5 followers.
Nice.
So let's keep that train rolling. If they get 1 more follower, we're fine. But if they get 5 more followers, we need you. Shane Murphy, we're talking to you.
I don't think he has a TikTok. I doubt he has.
He's got a TikTok, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what that means. You can also email us at doyleboyspodcast@gmail.com to share anything you want. And if you're enjoying the show, it really helps us out if you share the podcast on all the social medias out there.
And is it a thing to rate the podcast on the podcast app?
Yeah, it's supposedly.
Okay,
I think
rate
if you
the
leave,
podcast on the podcast app, please. Thank you.
But I think if you're asking people to rate it,
It has to be
you
good.
know when you're using, but you know when you're using an app on your phone and it comes up whilst using the app. Oh, rate this app. Are you enjoying this app? Yeah, it's kind of pushy.
Yeah, it's shit buzz.
So if you don't want to rate us, don't rate us.
Yeah.
If you feel that we're really good, consider rating us. But don't
if
force
you're-
yourself.
but
We're
if
not telling you to do it.
But if you're
We know where you live.
we don't know where y'all live. That's part of the podcast process.
It's only Shane listening.
But it's only Shane listening to us. But if you're part of our blood relations, and I don't mean this specifically for Shane, then you have to rate us 5 stars.
that's a rule.
That's a rule.
Or if we've
Especially Ember, who didn't even like my last 3 TikToks.
Or if we've ever shared blood. Right?
That's a long list, yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah. Should we dive into some films that didn't quite make the list?
James's loser list.
James' losers,
You know what?
honorable mentions, whatever you want to call it.
I feel like
James's
all horror
horror
films are losers, and anybody who likes horror films are losers.
I absolutely
So this
agree
is going to be a lot. What have you got?
I've got a few on the list here.
Honestly, after thinking about these 8 horror films for the last half hour, I couldn't think of any more horror films that I could possibly watch.
Okay, that's
consider
legitimate.
watching.
I think there's Halloween films. I think. What have you got on your little list there, James?
Well, one that I chose that didn't make it on the show was Oculus, which was a film from
Never
like
heard of
2000. Well, you did hear of it because I said it.
Literally never heard that.
That got good straight away.
It's a good film. It's about like a
No, it's good.
What else is on the
cool.
loser list?
yeah, fine, whatever. It's a good film. Is my
One
point.
or two more, then we're moving on.
Midsummer, which is by the same director as Hereditary.
But it's like Midsummer.
Midsummer.
Yeah.
That was a really good film. And I was very split between the two of those to pick one. I went with Hereditary. But Midsummer is very, very good, and I definitely recommend that.
You were literally going to put your jacket on his chair.
Yeah.
But then there's some other classics like Saw.
Saw, yeah, I was going to say Saw. Saw
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't. Oh, wait, didn't you pick it and then you just you changed your mind to
I changed my mind
the
too.
thing that your unnamed husband selected? I can't wait till we get to that one.
Me too.
The Halloween films.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I went to see the last
What's that, like,
latest
Jason?
Halloween remake where Jason was in it now.
Freddy versus Jason versus Nightmares on Elm Streets.
Yeah.
Well, Jason isn't in any of them because Jason's in not Friday the 13th. He's just in Jason, whatever.
Well,
It's
who's
Michael
the guy?
Michael Myers.
Oh, Michael Myers, sorry, yeah.
Who's
sorry.
not Shrek? No relation to Shrek.
No relation to Shrek.
Makes no sense.
But he was once related to Eddie Murphy, who plays Donkey and Shrek.
It's a black dude behind that.
I saw. Why is that all about race?
Wait, is Eddie Murphy a black dude or not?
And also,
Eddie Murphy could have a relation who's not black.
Alright, I suppose he could. I never really thought about that.
some other films, Candyman. Do you ever watch Candyman?
I remember. I do.
Doesn't sound like-
He did see it.
Candyman.
He did see it. You did see Candyman.
Is that the one with the creepy owl mask?
No,
We used to be always like
That's-
that.
No, that was hilarious.
Hellraiser.
No.
Hellraiser.
This is a film we watched late one night.
Yeah.
That was just like a
Hellraiser's-
garbage
it's a brothers
film.
thing, you wouldn't get it.
Oh, that Bond just have.
Hellraiser is another effed up film. Spiky nail.
You did see Candyman because I remember you went into
scary.
someone's house.
It's about a guy with a hook hand.
Is it?
We can't edit over each other. You can't jump over.
I know, but I wanted to say that.
We went to someone's house, or all the older crew, like you and all your friends, went into one guy's house on our housing estate to watch it.
Alright.
And I tried to come in, and you wouldn't let me because this film was too scary.
Alright.
And I went home and told Mum.
Was it Usher
I went home and
Collins?
told Mum. You can't be naming people.
Why
on
not?
podcast? Because they might not. GDPR.
Oh, fuck GDPR. Fuck you.
Well, I went home and told Mum,
No,
and Mum said that's probably right because that film was
Nightmare on
quite
Elm
scary.
Street. One that I didn't think of in time to get it on the show, but Event Horizon. Did you ever see that? With the spaceship that
This sort of-
enters hell.
Alright.
That sounds good.
It's a really good film. And if I had thought of it, I would have put it on the list because it's really good.
Tell me this now. Is Cloverfield, is that a horror film?
Yeah.
That'd be a horror
Is
film.
that
be
the
a
one
horror
in the
film.
basement?
No, that's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Alright, that was good.
Wait, who did you call it in it? John Goodman?
John Goodman, yeah.
Belushi.
He was in 10 Cloverfield Lane, wasn't
Yeah.
he? That's what I'm on about. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was really good, wasn't it? Well, he's
Because of him.
He's one of the greats. Like,
It was because of him.
He's very good. It's another. This will come up, I'm sure, when we're discussing the actual movies. But there's very rarely good actors in these films. Like, and when you put a good one in it, it really raises
Yeah,
the level.
yeah.
Like
Definitely. A couple more quick mentions. The Ring.
quick mentions.
The,
keep coming in.
The Ring, The Exorcist, The Shining, and the Blair Witch Project. Blair Witch Project is another good one.
That's all of our sex tapes. One of us is The Ring, one of us is The Exorcist, and one of us is The Shining.
Right?
Hit us in the comments below which one you think.
I do not want to know that. Well, first up, let's get to the battles. First up, we have 28 Days Later, chosen by Stephen, versus Shaun of the Dead, chosen by Andrew.
Now, tell me this.
Why are you smiling? He's closing his arms. You're closed off already. See, you're coming into this with the wrong attitude here.
Right, let me just fire out the attitude I've got.
Alright.
The first question is:
Open up.
Is Shaun of the Dead, when you first think of it, do you think, oh, it's a horror film, I'm going to be scared in this film? Or do you think it's a comedy film with horror elements? Or should I move that argument because it's in and that's it?
No, you can argue that. I don't mind you arguing wrong points all night. It gives me time to make more good points.
Alright, how would you feel about that type of point?
Well, he's-
our moderator / adjudicator /
He just-
glorious lord.
Arbitoire.
Arbitor. What do you think of that type of point? Because I think it's somewhat valid.
Yeah, I think it's a comedy film with horror bits, not a horror film with comedy bits.
No,
You know?
So
it's
what-
a comedy, drama, love, horror.
Okay, that's what you think. You're
Yeah.
sure.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's 4 things into one.
Yeah, so it's not a horror film. It's these.
Did
4.
you ever go to the Chinese and get rice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rice.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh,
you didn't,
wait,
right?
no,
You never did.
I normally get curry.
Just going. I love a bit of slop.
What?
No, I get chicken curry and sometimes. Actually, what am I saying? I'm just lying. I get beef curry. What do you get? This is all usable material. What do you get in Chinese chicken?
That's not what my point is. My point is that Shaun of the Dead is 4 things in one. And
Yeah.
when I go to the Chinese, I get a 4 in 1.
Oh.
Chicken balls,
So you
curry,
like that? Just then you like
and rice. I like that.
Oh, 14.
That's what if you got a 3-in-1, you would negate one of those.
That's
Well,
true.
I would say that is probably my main big point about Shaun of the Dead.
Really?
I've seen that film is that I would never really feel horrified while watching it at any point, and I feel like it's more of a comedy. That would be my main criticism.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but I felt like there had to be at least one good film in this whole godforsaken podcast.
Okay.
And it is a film about zombies.
Zombies
are
It is.
a horror theme.
That's true, yeah.
It's not. They're
You're
not
firing
zombies.
off a lot of banging
Not-
off a few bunny quotes here.
Yeah, people can't see the quotes you're putting up.
Yeah, I kept doing it, so you can do it to it. And then I'm going to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
So say something good or bad about my film, or good or bad about your film. I'm 28 days later.
You gave me a lot of options there.
So I've given a big criticism of your film.
Okay.
You give a big criticism of my film there, 28 days later. What's the big criticism? The Cillian Murphy.
What
Pretty good.
what is 28 Days Later? What kind of film is that?
It's a horror film.
About what?
About it's like a post-apocalyptic zombie situation.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you're arguing for this, and you definitely watched it.
Yeah, I've watched it.
But it's not a zombie film.
Well, they're not actually zombies. They've got some sort of disease, but they present as very fast zombies. The big difference between them and traditional zombies is the monster in this is very, very fast.
Very fast.
So it really elevates the scare element. Because
They're just fast as zombies.
Yeah, so they're basically like humans.
Well, they have a thirst for brains.
Yeah, so
I have a thirst for getting brain, but not eating brain. You know what I mean?
so they need to eat.
I feel like this is going somewhere.
It is going somewhere. It is going somewhere.
I'd really love to know what it is.
Right, I'll let you go
So
then.
they need to eat. They need to eat, don't
Okay,
they?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
on with it for now, yeah?
They all die at the end of the film from starvation.
Maybe, yeah. I think there's a magic juice or something like that. He gets a magic pen and sticks it in their neck or something like that. But okay, maybe they die from starvation. Sure, go ahead.
Why didn't they die of dehydration earlier?
Because they're fucking zombies, mate.
They're not zombies. They're just
You
humans.
think they're regular, straight up humans? They're one day they're on their
Well, if they need to
iPhone.
eat, they need to drink.
So, is that your main criticism of my film? And are we ready to vote?
Because that is not a very good criticism. I think that's a bit of a moot point.
That's a move.
All right, I didn't see it. I just googled it. I didn't watch this
Didn't see the
film.
film. All
No,
right.
I did. I have seen this film, but it's trash.
Let me say something pro 28 Days Later next. We both criticise one another's film. Let me say something pro 28 Days Later. Well, I've already said the performance of Cillian Murphy, breakout performance. It kind of put his name on the map. And Cillian Murphy, I think, is a good actor, even though he's a little bit weird looking. And also, at the time, I feel like it was one of the first films of a wave of what became a lot of zombie team stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't actually remember when the film came out, but I feel it was like 2004 to 2007. Something.
I think that's a bad point for it because zombie films are terrible.
Right.
I'd agree with that. I'm so over zombie
So zombie
films.
films
was
are
never
terrible.
into
Hold on.
them.
All right. I think I've just wandered around. So zombie films are terrible. Andrew's arguing for a zombie film.
Yeah, but like
Hold on.
Shaun of
No,
the
let
Dead-
him go.
Andrew's
Keep
arguing
coming,
for a zombie
keep
film.
coming at me.
And he's got straight zombies. But I've got zombies with a twist. They're fast and actually scary because they can actually...
Did you watch Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah.
Did you hear him call them zombies?
I don't think so. I don't
They're
know.
not zombies.
What did
Oh no, they did
No,
call them
they're
zombies.
not zombies.
What do you... Why
Simon Pegg very specifically tells Nick Frost to stop calling them zombies, but Nick Frost does keep calling them zombies.
But they're not zombies.
Why are they not zombies? Why are they then?
I don't know.
They're humans. They could have died from thirst or hunger.
At the end of the film, a radio comes on and it says, rumors that the infection started with rage-filled monkeys have proved to be untrue, which was poking fun at your crap film 28 Days Later.
It was inspired by...
No, I was making fun of it.
So I
Sean,
Now, I'm supposed to argue on what you say. I came into this thinking Shaun of the Dead is going to win this. You have had terrible arguments.
He hasn't let me,
Andrew has had terrible arguments.
but he hasn't let me say anything good about Shaun of the Dead. Look at all these good points.
Well, say something good then. You
I'm
haven't.
good about it.
Tell me some good things.
Okay, can I talk about scenes?
Are we going to go on about this all night? That's my question. It's the first round. Let's get it done.
Okay, what about the scene?
We've all had a chance to criticize each other's movies and compliment each other's films. Now you want to run off a big list?
No, you haven't let me say a good point about my film.
He hasn't.
All right, if you can find one.
Right, the scene where they're in the pub and Ed turns on the jukebox and starts playing "Don't Stop Me Now," and the owner is in the pub and he comes over to attack him, and then "Don't Stop Me Now" comes on, and they all hurtle around him with the pool cues, and they're hitting him
to time
to
of music.
the time of the music.
It is very well done.
And it's really well done.
Good actor.
And
Great
all-
director. Great director.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant director.
What's his name?
Edgar Wright.
Ant-Man, yeah.
All Baby Driver and all, isn't it?
Baby Driver job.
Baby Driver. Baby Driver was a good film.
Really good.
All of the sound effects in the film are really good. Like the
that's
pool
true.
cue whacking it, and
Yeah.
even I
It's
know
unusable now.
even
That point's getting cut.
even when they throw the pool cue to one another, it goes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, good sound effects.
It's really good. I literally just watched Shaun of the Dead last night, like, and it holds up really, really well.
Yeah.
It's still funny, like, do you know what I mean?
Whereas 28 Days Later,
You didn't
I-
watch it.
I
You can't
can't-
say it doesn't hold up well because you didn't watch it.
because I didn't want to watch it because it's trash. It's not a good film.
I
Alright,
was
major point.
one other thing about 28 Days Later, like when I looked back, I didn't watch it again, but I did go back and watch scenes and stuff, like, but even the filming style of it is really dated now.
Right.
Like, it feels really dated. Like, there's lots of other movies that came out around the time that you'd still happily watch,
Similar
like, or even
film.
older or whatever.
All right.
But like that feels really dated. And also, as you said, there's so many zombie films that came after that. For me personally, it's hard to go back because I'm just sick of zombies. Like, you know what I mean?
But is that the fault of 28 Days Later?
No, it's not. It's hard. I'm just saying it's
Or
hard
is
for
it the
me to
fault of
go.
Shaun of the Dead?
No, Shaun of the Dead is the highlight because it's not the typical zombie movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, Shaun of the Dead was kind of alluding and
It was a
taking-
comedy
It was alluding to.
Film.
It was paying homage
some
to
action
some
scenes.
horror films, zombie films,
and
but then it was taking the
respect
pee
the
of other ones, like 28 Days Later.
Here's my question to you.
It's
Are you
trash.
ever scared when you're watching Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah,
No.
scared that I wet myself laughing.
Okay, well then, in terms of which one is the best horror film, there's plenty of times where you're scared in 28 Days Later. 'Cause sometimes it's simple. Sometimes it's simple jump scares. Sometimes it's tension builds with what's going to come out. Sometimes it's
think-
a monster leaping at you. But there's legitimately scary moments. There isn't any scary moments in Shaun of the Dead. If we're arguing for what's the best film in the whole canopy of films, I think maybe Shaun of the Dead could have a conversation.
I'd
It's
agree with that.
simply not a horror film. It's a terrible pick by a terrible person.
I think that is kind of the crux of the argument. I think that's
I think
where
we're ready to
I think
vote.
that's where the judgment's going to have to fall.
It is,
Because
yeah.
I think
That was me slapping you.
I think Shaun of the Dead is a better film than 28 Days Later, but I think 28 Days Later is a better horror film.
Wow. So that's your
Yeah, I mean-
vote?
Okay,
And you're voting?
but hang on. If I Google this
Gotta glory-
and
No,
one
just
thing,
don't Google. You
one
can't
thing
Google
comes
things.
up saying horror
No,
about
you
Shaun
can't
of the
do that
Dead,
in the middle of a podcast.
I'm doing it now. So
Well, I'm ready to vote.
How do you
I'm ready to
spell-
vote too.
I vote
How do
for
you spell
28 Days
Shaun?
Later.
I'll vote for 28 Days Later too.
And
What's
did you have a
what's
vote?
your move vote about, Andrew?
28 Days Later. No, horror comedy film on Wikipedia. Horror comedy film.
So
But I'm still not scared.
no, wait.
But it's in
Wait,
the bracket
wait,
then. It's
wait,
been accepted in the
Wait,
bracket.
is
Don't
this-
tell me to be quiet in my own house. Now I choose my words very carefully.
Anyway, it's a good point.
No, that was
28 Days Later has already won. We're moving on to the next round.
No, it's class.
It's moo.
It's class.
We're
as
moving
a
on,
horror
Andrew,
comedy.
you can class anything as anything. Like you're lower class.
Once again, I'll fall back to who cares about anyone else's opinion.
Yeah.
It's about the Doyle boys' opinion.
the Doyle men.
The Doyle boys have decided.
The Doyle men have decided.
Right. Well, in the next podcast, when we're talking about Naughty's albums, I'm going to say, well, in my opinion, this is a 2032 album, so this shouldn't be considered.
That's fair enough.
And screw you guys, I'm going home.
That's not based on any evidence, but you can try.
There you go. 28 Days Later proceeds. Next up on our list is Wicker Man, chosen by Stephen, versus Hereditary, chosen by me.
What's your name?
And you know it's good. My name is James. Hello.
Andrew, have you seen either? Did you get a chance to see either of these? The Wicker Man or Hereditary? Hereditary's on Netflix, I will remind you.
I've seen Hereditary, yeah.
And what about The Wicker Man? Did you get
No,
a
I
chance?
didn't watch
Did you
it,
get a
no.
chance? You got a chance to watch The Wicker
I
Man?
watched Wicker
And
Man,
it was
yeah.
your first time watching it, I believe.
Yeah, it was the first
I've
time.
seen it
wasn't
several times.
Really, yeah.
Many times.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film.
It had something going for it. It's
Yeah.
not like a normal film.
Yeah.
It's got Christopher Lee dancing, singing, and acting as Little Heart.
Yeah.
That was kind of a highlight for me. Like I was saying, when you put a good actor in these, what are generally just a genre I don't enjoy, it really elevates it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cop was a good actor, I thought. The Scottish cop.
I thought he wasn't a good actor for most of it until right at the very end.
When there's a lot of screaming going
Yeah.
on, he has to say.
There's one particular bit right at the end when he sees the big Wicker Man
big Wicker
that he's
Man.
going to be put into and
"Oh,
burned
Jesus
alive.
Christ!"
And he has a full breakdown and he's
Yeah.
like, that was really good.
Good. And so I don't think I've actually seen the Put the Bunny in the Bag. Who's that fella?
Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage. I haven't seen the Nicolas Cage remake,
No, I haven't either.
but I don't think it's his finest work. So I'm definitely talking about the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we both agree that's good. I think we're ready to vote.
No. I will agree that it's good, but like it being from the 70s, like there's a lot of things that are kind of very 70s and very
Like those 70s boobies that are
yeah.
they're straight from the 70s. Those
Yeah,
like
straight-
they're just
straight up.
triangular.
No, the like the music and stuff, all the kind of 70s folksy stuff, just was driving my head in. Like,
You didn't
I
fancy
don't have time for that. Like, it did fit in with the film. Like, it made sense, logical sense as the film unfolded. But like, especially at the start of the film, I was like, I don't know if I can watch this film based on that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right, I see what you're saying. I don't agree with you in any way, shape, or form at all, not even a slight tiny bit.
Yeah.
But I can hear the words that are coming out of your mouth. I have to admit something about Hereditary, which is that I got about 20 or 30 minutes into it. I was watching it with my missus, and I had to turn it off and leave the room. I had to
Really?
walk away. Whatever was happening on the screen was so horrible, and I choose my words very carefully. So horrible that I could not watch it anymore. The experience of watching
Can you say what it was?
I can. The head of the kid is ever getting knocked off,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is pretty cool.
and the ma's on the floor in the room screaming in anguish inside of her, and her child's dead. And I goes to the missus. I was like, the kid's coming back. Like, don't. It's a scary film. It's got magic in it, probably by the look of it. Kid's coming back. Kid wasn't coming back, and that was it. The kid was just dead. 20 or 30 minutes into the film, and I was like,
Did you watch the rest of the film?
I did watch the rest of the film in the end, but I was like, that's just so horrible.
It was.
So horrible. I don't like that type of stuff now, and I didn't
But
greatly enjoy it.
that's the kind of stuff that I like about horror films, that it wasn't like a big gruesome thing. Do you know what I mean? It was
Like the head getting chopped off wasn't nice, but it wasn't
but it wasn't like
gory, like
yeah.
it wasn't like that. No.
It wasn't about like, look at the blood go everywhere. No, it was about like seeing the reactions of everybody and how that affects them and all that. Like, I love that. That's the kind of horror film that I like, a psychological kind of thing. Like,
Right.
Like it's something that thrills you,
yeah,
like a psychological thriller.
it could do.
Yeah. Psychological thrillers have a little bit of flavour of that too. This was obviously
If this is
not
him,
a psychological thriller. In no way was this a psychological
this
thriller.
is widely
There's magic in it.
This is widely regarded as one of the best horror films, like of modern horror
well,
films.
other
Which
people's
again, who
opinions
cares
are-
about other people's opinions? I'm just saying, I think he's trying to go on a path of saying that this isn't a horror film somehow.
I don't
It's a
know.
psychological horror film, so it's as much. It has as much reason to be here.
Listen.
Steve, I didn't get rid of one here because he double crossed me in the last one.
My God.
Oh, this was my I thought I was going to lose it. Well, I would say that your film Hereditary goes on a bit. It's a 2 hour long film. That's a long film now. I know it's very common for films to be 2 hours long, but that's a long film. And I did feel like the last half an hour, it was just like, just come on, get along with it. Like, it's one of those films I feel like they could have wrapped it up a bit sooner.
I can take your point, but I don't particularly agree. I think it did a really good job of like building tension throughout the film, because things not subtly, but they get more and more weird as the film goes on. Like, and it's just kind of, this is all kind of a bit weird. But then it gets to the point at the end where it's like,
Tell me how that film ends.
Who knows? The kid, the boy kid.
Gabe Byrne gets set on fire, and then the demon enters the mother, and then the mother lures her son up into the attic, and like, I don't want to spoil the whole film if people haven't seen it.
No, I just refresh. I've watched the film. I have watched it.
Yeah. I don't remember how it ended either, because it just started going on and on at the very end.
Let's just.
This is the boy.
It's interesting that my point was that it goes on a bit at the end, and me and Andrew both kind of forgot the ending.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen it. I would say
It hasn't been long since I've seen it now. So that makes more to my point.
I watched it like a few months ago, but it still has stayed with me pretty well. No, it stayed well with me. Like, I think it's one of those films that like the impact of it stays with you a long time.
Do you like that debate thing? No matter what he says, I'm like, you agree with me? So you said a moment ago that, I don't know how long ago that you said it, but you said it a short period of time ago, that you like this thing at Hereditary where it's like a horror film that is based on building tension, not like a Saw type horror film, just or whatever. Which I don't think there really is one of those on the list. So let me just finish my point there, you idiots.
Is it going somewhere? Could you do more?
It is. It's my last bullet point. And I have no more points after this, so I hope.
It's like he's reading the Power tab and he's waiting for the next thing to go.
So one of the things that I like about Wicker Man and horror films in general is where you can dress up as the monsters from the film. And there's a whole array of masks.
Oh my God.
So you can have a mask that makes you, you can look like Donnie Darko, Bunny with a mask, or you can look like the guy on Elm Street or something like this. There's a load of masks in this. And I like that. I liked her being masked in a scary film. Andrew, you weren't too impressed with that?
I was not impressed by that either.
Why not?
If you had led with you like how there's masks in it, you like how there's masks in a scary film, that's something that you like, that would have been a fair point. But the thing you said was, you can dress up as them if you want.
Yeah. A Halloween, like Halloween job. It's Halloween. It's the Halloween episode. It's Halloween. Stop it, Halloween.
You dress up as characters
Can
from
you-
Hereditary too. Just chop your head off.
Can you entice me to watch Wicker Man?
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Like, what
It's
kind
one
of
the
horror is it? Apart from the wear masks.
There's a lot of sex in it.
Actually, you know,
boobies in it. There's
yeah,
boobies in it.
that's when I seen it. When I did Google it, I got as far as Googling it, and one
Private
of
tab.
my immediate thoughts was, "Oh, there's gonna be that old '80s bush in it."
I don't know anything about it. I don't know if there's 80s bush in it because it's set in the 70s, but I don't know if
Well,
there's
'70s
bush
bush.
either.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
I don't know if there is that in it. Like,
Well, yeah, I didn't want to watch it anyway, but
well, it's not really sex scene. She's like in her nip, banging on this wall, trying to
Dancing around.
seduce.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was just got. Yeah, it was just got.
It was a good film, but I think Hereditary is much better. I think Hereditary, as I said, the whole psychological thing is amazing and very well done. And also the film is beautiful. It's so well shot. Like, there's some amazing
But
shots in the film.
you're saying that the Wicker Man has aged in a way, you look back at it now. In 50 years, we'll look back at Hereditary and say, oh my goodness, that's aged a lot. So
Yeah.
the criticism
No.
saying it's aged a lot, I don't think is in any way valid.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, okay, I agree with that. That's not my point.
So that point has been moved. So I will go back and
Moose, what's that?
What does that mean?
I'll go back and edit and I'll add moves over the entirety of you criticising it. Well, I think I have in a tricky spot here because me and James, we've seen both films. Andrew's only seen The Wicker Man because it's the only. Or wait, which one did you want to see?
Hereditary.
Right, yeah, so like it's
I think you're in a tricky spot, James.
yeah, someone is. I'm getting some water.
Right, I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm Hereditary all the way. Obviously, I think it's a much better film, and I would watch it again.
I vote for Wicker Man because. Oh wait, no, I'm voting for Hereditary. Hereditary is scary. I couldn't watch it. I had to leave the room.
That's a good point.
Way scarier film. Wicker Man goes on a bit. What are you voting for, Andy?
I'm voting for Wicker Man in the hope that it could be a good horror film, because I know that Hereditary is not a good horror film, because it's more of a psychological thriller.
I think you're actually voting for Wicker Man because then you're voting against me from the last round.
I wouldn't say that. No.
No?
That'd be a serious accusation to throw somewhere.
Every time that we avoid the unanimous buzzer, a little child cries.
That's alright. I didn't
Not
mind
that
that.
bad.
No.
I thought I was going to say die.
No, but I did watch Hereditary because my partner, the unknown housebound it, loves horror films, and Jesus Christ, it's trash. I just really don't like horror films. It's so hard for me. I can't even vote for the ones that I watch.
Yeah, that's because you're afraid of your emotions, and this is a type of horror film that really generates emotions.
Yeah.
Hereditary.
Yeah. It's painful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a painful film. Like.
It is.
I don't know how you watched it. Anyway, I'm never going to think about that film again because it's too scary.
Until we get to the next round. Hereditary is true.
It's not scary.
Let's continue on.
Who's the next round?
Next up.
Oh shit! I forgot to research Get Out. Oh, Get Out was really good.
Right, now next up on our battles we have A Quiet Place, chosen by Andrew, versus Get Out, chosen by me.
And before this podcast, I had not watched either of these films.
Before the podcast or before the research?
Before the research, before it came up to be a thing for this podcast.
We haven't been recording for that long.
I haven't watched either of them, and I did watch both of them in preparation for this. And
Did you?
I have extensive notes and very strong opinions. I don't think I'm really going to get a chance to read my notes in this section, but I'll be observing closely now your arguments, boys. And I'm willing to be swayed either way. I'm totally open because they're both very good films.
They are both good films.
Do you think so?
But one is much, 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 much better than the other.
Which one is it?
Right, fire away, ladies.
Do you want to go first there?
I
I can't remember again.
So who did you pick, James?
picked Get Out.
Interesting.
And Get Out is fantastic.
I won't wish you good luck because you don't need it.
No, thanks. Get Out, obviously very much about the black person's experience in America and all that.
Oh.
But it's also not just about that. It's about being out of place and being in a scenario that you're not kind of used to. Do you know what I mean?
What?
A scenario that you can't
which?
understand. Scenario.
Just a move.
That is moo, isn't it? See, now that's my track of thought.
Train of thought.
So, Andy, what do you think of A Quiet Place?
Well, I really want to end with this because it'll be fresh in your head.
Okay, I'll remember it.
Okay, so when we're nearly going, get me to repeat this point again. I have a review of A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is an extraordinary piece of work, terrific acting, but the main thing is the silence and how it makes the camera's eye open wide in a way few movies manage. Who's the king of horror?
Stephen.
That's who said that. Stephen King said that.
That's interesting. Stephen King, who notoriously makes very bad films, so doesn't have a great taste in films.
Oh yeah, The Shining is trash.
Oh my god.
The Shining, which has almost no basis on the actual thing.
That I just want to punctuate here a film that should have made it on the list maybe, but you probably haven't seen it. Maximum Overdrive.
No,
Stephen King's film that he directed and wrote himself.
Oh really?
About cars that like come alive because a meteor comes near the planet.
a real 80s gem.
A real 80s gem. I watched it probably when I was like 7 or 8 on TV one day.
Oh, really?
Should not have watched it. Fucked me up for life. If a car is parked, I cannot go underneath that car. Like if a ball or something goes under a car, I can't reach in and get that ball because it just terrifies me.
Oh really?
And I watched it a couple of years ago to be like, why am I so terrified by this film? And there's a scene where like some kid is like running away from a steamroller and the steamroller runs him over and it's very graphically showing this kid being run over. And it's like,
horrible.
if I saw that when I was 8, I should not have seen that.
It sounds like a film that should have been in.
Yeah, I just didn't think of it.
No, it would have been a dark.
It wouldn't have won, but
Like, I mean, it would have bet one of these.
yeah,
Stephen King is the king of horror.
he is. But
I do have a strong criticism of that point, but I don't think it's my place to make that criticism.
yeah, like my main criticism is that's an opinion of someone who isn't a Doyle boy, so I don't care about it.
I'm not sure if that's a move.
I don't think
pretty
it is.
move.
Oh no, I think it is. Sorry.
Okay, continue.
I know, James, you're saying that Get Out deals with different things apart from horror, but A Quiet Place does that as well. Like deals with kind of the relationships of the family, and how the mother and father are still like even so they're both silent the whole time. Obviously, they're still staying strong for each other, and they still have their moments. Like the moment where they're listening to music on the earphones, and Harvest Moon comes on. Do you remember that bit?
Vaguely, I remember
That's
something.
really, to be in a horror film, that's a really, really strong scene.
Okay.
And John Krasinski is like, or sorry, Jim Halpert is holding his wife and she like bows down her head or whatever. And you can see that he's actually afraid, but he's afraid to show that he's afraid. So it deals with the emotions of a family
Yeah, there's definitely
quite well.
It's got that in common with Fast and the Furious.
Quiet well.
It's got that really in common with Fast and the Furious. It's all about the family.
When are we going to do like the best Fast and Furious films?
What's the point? It's Tokyo Drift.
It is absolutely not. Oh man, that's a talk for another day.
I don't like Fast and Furious.
You're wrong. Including being wrong about Quiet Place being better than Get Out. Because like Get Out, like again, it's that kind of thing that I like of a psychological horror film because it's about like when he gets under his hypnosis and
Then he goes to the down. What's
it
it
goes
called? The down place or
to
something
yeah
like that?
the under or something like that. Like that idea of being able to see everything that's going on with your body,
Very scary.
but you have no control.
Yeah.
That's like a terrifying thing. Like being out of control like that is something that you just don't want, you know. And the way the film plays out, the slow realization of what's going on, like,
Yeah.
is really well done.
How like when she was bringing, oh crap, I'm arguing for you, but when she
You enjoyed this film too. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
you enjoyed Get Out.
when she was like introducing to all the family and all, and you didn't really cop what was going on, but then later on you're like, oh yeah, they're kind of grooming
Yeah,
him
yeah.
or kind of sizing him up to say, oh,
It's funny to go back and watch some of those scenes when you know what's going to happen at the end. Like,
yeah,
and, like it lays that foundation very, very well. You know.
well, it's very psychological, I think.
But I think like
It's
everything.
not a horror. No, I actually do think, honestly, I'm not saying this because of our past arguments. It's not as much of a horror as A Quiet Place.
I don't agree with that
Why?
because I think it is. It's a horrible feeling
because
to be like trapped in your body like that. Like that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that's more of a psychological thing.
I don't feel like that being trapped in your body thing is the main thing that I'm experiencing when I'm watching the film. I thought the thing that was more horrible was the black experience that he's having, you know, of being the other. I thought that was truly...
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just hate bullying and bullying. I cried at the end of Black Panther. It's too beautiful, you know, and I just hate people being bullied. And it seems like black people get bullied for being who they are, and that's not cool.
Obviously.
Andrew doesn't agree with that. But what I didn't like was in the end it made it that his missus, who was his missus the whole time, was gimmicking him. I was like, That's a bit
kind
of
of
a
a cheap
stretch.
got out. Or a cheap get out. Sorry, that wasn't.
Yeah,
that was
that's-
just, sorry,
It was natural.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like that was I don't know. I just it didn't feel right that she was against him the whole time. Like I believe that they're chopping people's brains and twisting all that. I go along with all that, but that's when they lost me. The problem with A Quiet Place is they lost me after 10 minutes.
Why did they lose that? Why?
The opening scene in the shop where they're going around the shop.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I know. This is bullshit. This is a move.
No, I want to hear what the point is.
And this is the criticism of the Stephen King point you made earlier on, where he's like, it creates this ambience with the camera and the sound and all this, right? So they walk out the shop, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
this is great. No. What a perfect opportunity for someone to put in a pair of headphones and have a track while they walk away into the distance, right? No. Soaring violins as the camera pans up, right? And the place is filled with noise.
Yeah.
It's not a quiet place anymore. Now it's loud. I was like, keep it quiet.
You know, originally there was no sound in the first like half an hour, like not one sound.
That I would have liked.
And John Krasinski says, or sorry, I keep calling the wrong name. Jim Halpert says
Jim Halpert, yeah.
that the film will work with no noise. At
I'd
all.
agree with him. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It would.
But obviously the Hollywood megalomaniacs
Yeah.
forced them to.
And they printed it, and that's the final.
And that's the film we watched, like, so.
So I have to judge on that. I do agree with John Krasinski that would do it.
Who?
What's his name?
Jim Halpert.
Halpert, yeah. I agree with Jim Halpert that he would do it, but like, I mean, he's a paper man. He doesn't know much. He doesn't have much power in Hollywood.
That's true.
So that's my big problem with.
So you got lost after that?
No, I didn't get lost. I watched the rest of the film, and there's some powerful moments.
One thing that
Why did
I...
you put the baby in the box? Put the baby in the box.
Have you watched The Quiet Place 2 yet?
Never will I watch that.
If you don't enjoy babies in boxes, don't watch that film.
I won't watch it.
I haven't seen the second one yet, but we're talking about the first one.
So I'm really struggling to be swung either way here.
Well, 'cause I
none
haven't
of these
seen-
are making.
So get
any-
out-
I haven't made a
any-
point.
Get Out 2 wasn't good enough to have a sequel yet, I
So
see.
my question to you both is: why is your film the best horror film?
No, I wanna
Or
say-
why is his one not a good horror?
No, I want to say something bad about his film because I didn't get a chance to yet.
Horror film, because that's the topic. What's the best?
Like, I think there's huge like problems with the internal logic of A Quiet Place. Like the whole thing of when they go to the waterfall and it's like, oh, everything's so noisy here, the creatures can't find us. We can make as much noise as we want. Well, then why don't they live somewhere? Why don't they live beside the waterfall?
Yeah.
Why is their farm not surrounded by like just noise generating things constantly so they can do whatever they want when they're at home?
Something like that.
Like,
yeah.
why don't they do that?
And these monsters that are so alerted by noise, if a tree falls in the wood, there's monsters that'll go, what's that fucking tree?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they go and destroy the tree.
Yeah.
If he had a farm making loads of noise the whole time, the monsters just destroy
Well,
the
then why
water.
don't they go destroy the waterfall?
Because they're afraid of water.
I do agree that the waterfall. I thought the exact same thing.
No, hang on now. Where's the source of noise from the waterfall? Where do they attack?
The
The
water,
water
hitting
hitting the water.
water hitting the water.
Water falling.
Yeah, so they can obviously sense that the
That's not
rock
obvious.
is an animate object.
That's obvious.
Here's another thing. You
No,
know,
I'm right here. I'm
I don't
right.
think so. I think that's a valid point.
Here's another
James
thing,
made one
right?
valid point
When
that critiques your film.
it's they go
So,
to they
he's
go
one up now.
to they go to great efforts to say that what
Nothing.
they go to great efforts to say that
Wait, let's.
they can
you
only
just, can you
react.
just start again there? Sorry.
What an asshole!
I feel like James has made a criticism of your film.
I know, but I have one other major thing that I think is a problem with the film.
Okay, I can't wait
Like,
to hear this last point.
they go to great pains to say they only react to sound. That's the only thing they can react to, right?
That's their gimmick, yeah.
So, and they will move towards whenever there's sound. And then if there's no sounds, they can't detect. If someone's walking by them, not making any noise, they can't detect them. So there's no like echolocation or whatever going on.
Yeah.
Why aren't they always like running into trees? Like trees don't make a
Because
noise.
they can't see.
They can't see.
These monsters
Why aren't they
can't
running into rocks? Why aren't they falling over the whole time?
That's a really good point. I never thought
It doesn't make any sense.
I did feel like the monsters weren't the greatest monsters
No.
of all time. Like they're a little bit scary when their heads are
Yeah.
in this springy thing and all. They're a little bit scary, but there was an issue with the monsters there. I think.
So obviously it
it's
works
two
out. Do
heavy
you know how
pieces.
sound works
I do.
with vibrations?
I do.
So obviously when they're going to attack something, they go "Ah," or whatever,
Yeah.
and that obviously bounces around, and they can sense what's around them. That's really simple.
No, that's echolocation, and they very much don't do that because
They
if
don't do
someone's walking by and not making a sound, they can't detect them.
Yeah, the way they detect
That's
you.
because
I don't know what I was saying. No, James is right. That's not the issue. The issue is that if you start clapping your hands, they'll run towards you because they're sensing the sound, so they come to that sound. If you stop clapping your hands, they don't go "Caw," and then they hear where you are. That's not how it works. When they attack the monster screams.
Mm-hmm.
That's the monster scream you're hearing. They go because they're getting attacked.
No.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think
you're
that's
wrong.
the case.
So James has made 2 powerful criticisms of your film that was already going to lose. So have you got anything?
Yeah, that's not a horror film.
You don't think it was a horror film?
It's horrible. You were right in what you said. It's a horrible experience to go through. That's pretty horrible. But there's literally big scary monsters in mine going around killing kids. That's way more of a horror film.
That's your argument?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's legitimate.
Right, let's vote then.
Yeah, let's vote.
Okay, I'm ready to vote.
I'm Get Out all the way. Andrew?
A Quiet Place.
I'm going to have to vote for Get Out.
Yeah,
Why?
because this is a better film.
But it's not a horror film.
It
is.
The premise
I
of
don't-
this whole
I don't
podcast
agree
is all over
that's
the
not a
shop.
horror film. I don't
How is
agree
it?
that's
How is it a
film.
horror? I don't understand how it is a horror film.
I think it's like in the broad spectrum of
To
horror.
Google.
In the broad spectrum of horror. I mean, when it came out, everyone knew it was a horror film. It was put as Jordan Peele, the comedian.
The comedian does a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was not. Well, there's some good.
Well, that's
comedies.
someone else's opinion, though.
That's true. It is.
Which I respect.
But we voted, and I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. To move.
Ah, yes, the first film I've googled that actually just says horror film.
Oh, well, there you go. So next up.
Get Out was brilliant.
Look at this great point
It
here
is.
about A Quiet Place. Just that was my point.
Nice.
The
Oh, that's a very good and detailed point.
I think I had more points about A Quiet Place.
I'd
So finally we
I
have.
honestly couldn't be bothered about any of these shit films.
Finally, in our first
Oh,
round,
I got the Babadook.
as Andrew said, we have The Babadook, chosen by Andrew, versus The Thing, chosen by Stephen.
I have 2 bullet points on the Babadook, which I did not watch. First of all, my bullet point is I did not watch it. Second of all, our dad, Fra, said it's a woman thing. That's what he said.
It's a woman
He
thing.
said it's a woman thing. It's not for you. It's for women.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know if it's a criticism, but
I mean,
did you see either of these films?
oh yeah, I seen the Babadook like a couple of days ago.
And The Thing?
No, I haven't seen the thing.
Okay.
I couldn't see how Kurt Russell could be scary though.
So did you like Babadook, Andrew?
It is a horror film.
No.
It definitely is a horror film.
Did you like Babadook?
No, but I don't like horror films, so obviously.
And did you think this was a well-made one of the genre?
Yeah, it was well
This is
made.
not what you said in your on now. You said you hated it, you didn't like it one bit.
Yeah.
And you can't believe you're arguing for it. And someone else picked this for you. Your unknown house friend, who does like horror films, said, "Oh, this is one of the good ones."
Yeah.
And
It's
so
very
if you-
widely regarded
Yeah,
as a good film.
Very widely regarded.
everyone says that it's really good.
And I don't understand why those
Because
people think
it's so
that.
bad.
It's really, it's,
Is it?
Well, it's not
good.
It's not so bad.
It's fine, like
It's great. It's worth a watch.
Well, I watched the trailer and I thought it was very scary looking at the trailer.
it did. Yeah,
That the Babadook character was a little bit creepy.
yeah, it definitely is. But
When it comes down to it, he's not that creepy.
no, and it's a lot of jump scares, and jump scares are just cheap.
Yeah, they're a little
You know
bit.
what
It's
I
a
mean?
lot of tension
Yeah,
building,
it's like
building,
build up the
building.
tension, and like the mother
cage,
character
oh.
in it, like just does so many illogical things. Like
Now,
there's
the mother-
weird things happening around the house, right? And she's like in their house, and the house is already super creepy anyway. But
For some reason, she dressed like a 1960s milkmaid. for
yeah,
some reason.
who knows? But like there's all these creepy things going on in the house. So what's her reaction to that? Oh, I'll stay up all night watching weird horror films.
Now, right.
Like
She was driving home from the hospital with her new baby, and the husband was driving home from the hospital with the new baby, and someone crashed into him and killed the husband.
That's sad.
Right? So the whole thing is she's dealing with the grief through this whole
Yeah.
thing, which was
But the kids,
an alright point of the film.
yeah,
Like, when you look back at the film, that was a good motive.
yeah, and it's about like her.
To nothing especially good happening.
The,
But
the
the
child
kid
is
grows up.
the child is like 5 years old in the film.
He's 5 though.
but is he 5 when the accident happens?
No,
No, he was just born.
So it took her 5 years and she's still getting over the husband's death.
Yeah,
He must have been a good husband.
and she like resents the child and all that. Like, and she's a terrible.
Either one
she's
is
not a good mother in the film. Like.
Either one of you could die tomorrow.
She
I'd be
did try
over
to
in a
stab.
week.
Yeah,
Huh?
Either one of you could die tomorrow. I'd be over in a week.
that's true. Yeah,
We'll make 5
Trick or
years.
treat!
So nobody liked the Babadook. That's
No.
interesting.
No,
I know you-
everyone likes the Babadook.
except for the 3 most important people in the room.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it
Like
really
she's
isn't,
in the room.
and it has a terrible ending, like a really bad ending.
so bad.
It's so bad.
So
It's
bad.
like
I think
I'm going to spoil it. Like
Spoiler, because
I'm never going to watch it.
she confronts the Babadook, and for some reason it just
it's like a
stops.
man in a wall for some reason.
Yeah, well, the Babadook is her husband. Come back as a ghost and represented, or part represented by her own mind or whatever.
Oh, I see.
But then it skips forward to like a week or something later, and she has him tied up in the basement, and it's like, I'll go down and give him some worms.
Yeah.
The Babadook.
The Babadook.
They're trying to leave it open for like a second.
Yeah.
They did that with Hereditary as well. They left it a little bit open at the end.
They do in these trash films.
They give the kids some power.
Yeah. It's not open, but I think it's like meant to be an open ending in terms of ambiguous.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like, here's a sequel. But
yeah, it wasn't nailed on. Like that's true.
Yeah. But Babadook.
Babadook, bad film, right?
Not good.
The Thing is a good film.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm ready then.
Speaking broadly, it is a good film.
Mm-hmm.
And John Carpenter, director, really good sci-fi. Kurt Russell's the actor. Really good premise. It's like a locked room scenario. They're all in this snow place. They can't leave. That's it. Whoever's there is there. That's it. And that's a good, interesting element.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good film. I think
we'll talk more about The Thing in the next round.
Yeah. So we're ready to vote.
I'm happy to vote.
I'm voting for The Thing.
I'll vote for The Thing, absolutely.
I'll also vote for The Thing.
I'll vote for anything.
It's unanimous.
Unanimous.
Well, there you go. That's the end of our first round. But now that we're done with that first round, it's time to journey into Knucklebutt's butthole. Let's all look at the butts of Knucklebutt.
Welcome to Knucklebutt. Welcome all.
Roll up.
So,
Get your whole knuckle.
get your whole butter. And obviously it's Halloween special this week, so we got some spooky music. This is a mixtape from my mate Obsidian Grey. Link will be where links are.
That's a creepy name.
It's a pretty creepy name. And anyway, so we'll have a little blast of the mixtape here.
I'm in your room and I'm looking at you while you sleep.
Oh, sorry, there seems to be some problem with the electronics there. The wrong tape was cued. Now we'll hear Obsidian Grey's excellent mixtape.
To the motherfucking Obsidian Grey, we'd appreciate it greatly. The topic is awesome, it's October 31st. It's Halloween, so I'm doing my dirt. I hope killing these people won't bloody my shirt. Get a pumpkin, I'll stuff it with guts. Hunting these rappers, I'll turn them to slush. That is not drip, homie, that is their blood. And I'm loving this shit cause it gave me a rush. When's the last time you ate human for lunch? Did you season enough with it?
So yeah, that was a bit of Obsidian Grey with one of the two rappers that rap on the mixtape. And yeah, links are where links are. Check it out.
What up?
Scarily.
We haven't been doing enough scary things in this episode. Like,
Yeah. Well,
we should have been doing more of that
you
start.
You could tell me to add some. I could just add spooky noises in general, and it won't be known that they weren't already.
That's true.
I just added a couple of.
Well, let's woo our way into the second round. And first up, we have the spooky 28 Days Later versus Hereditary. 28 Days Later originally chosen by Stephen versus Hereditary.
I will say
chosen by me.
It's going to take a lot of persuading for you to make me vote for either of you.
Why?
Okay, interesting. Because you didn't really enjoy Hereditary, and
I did see 28 Days Later because I remember seeing the CD case, but it said Extra Vision on it as well.
Right.
But I did see it.
A good while ago, like I'm the same now. It was a good while ago.
So I feel like we haven't heard a lot of like what's really good about 28 Days Later to you. The big argument for Shaun of the Dead was against whether it's really a horror film. I feel that's why 28 Days Later went through. But tell me something good about 28 Days Later. Like, what did you really enjoy about that film?
Well, Cillian Murphy's breakup. Why are you looking at me like that?
He's repeating his good voice to the first round.
I said points.
I have one note.
Well, no, so it's a good point that I originally made was Cillian Murphy's breakup performance. I don't want that to be forgotten because it really is put him on the map. And the other thing is that
Danny Boyle's breakout film as well, like as a director, like that was the thing.
Well, hang on now.
Good point.
The woman and the kid in the Babadook were good actors. We're not voting for good actors here.
No, I know, yeah.
So that's moo.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It is pretty moo.
No,
but
it's
like,
not
I was letting them have it.
We're not saying that it's a good film because one of the actors went and had a good career after.
No, he was good in the film, which would made the film good.
Well, okay, say that then. You said it launched his career.
Yeah, that's how good it was.
That's your words.
It launched his career, and he's not that good. So this film was so good it launched his career. He's got a weird face, like.
He was a scarecrow. He was good at that.
That was the next thing he was in. He wasn't that good.
That wasn't the next thing he was in. Disco Pigs. You should watch Disco Pigs.
Is that the Wind Shakes the Barley or whatever?
Yeah, he was really good in that.
I haven't seen that.
But this launched him onto the map.
Anyway, yeah.
I think Disco Pigs actually put him onto the map.
It put him on a map. This is a much bigger map. This was like at the time, this was a massive film. It was very,
It was huge.
very, very successful film. I mean, Hereditary is just not a big film.
It is.
I think it's massive.
People are
Hereditary is
out there
massive.
horror-
People love
I'd
it.
never heard of it.
Really?
No, and I'm great. So yeah, what's really good about the film, I think even just from that opening scene where he's like stumbling around the city, kind of going, what the hell is going on here?
It's a great opening
It's a
scene.
great premise and a great opening scene.
And why isn't he thinking,
Where's
all the zombies?
We didn't know anything about the zombies, I think.
He was in a coma for the whole
He was in
thing.
a coma for 28
Okay.
days. This is 28
He
days
woke up
later.
28 days later.
Okay, where were the zombies?
They're doing zombie things. I mean, zombies are a horde, Andrew. They don't have a day job. They don't have to drink and eat throughout the day.
Even
They're out in
even
hordes.
a horde gets split down into a single whore every once in a while.
hordes. Not really. They move in gangs. They're like a flock. They're bird brain. Like they're
Yeah,
zombies.
but you always see an errant bird. Like.
What are you talking about, man?
Where were the zombies? It's a brilliant, right? It's a brilliant opening scene, right? I agree with you. But where were the zombies?
What, you don't
Somewhere
want
else in the town, like.
You don't want to get all the tension out of the window straight away, like.
I'm just saying, there's plot holes.
I don't think that's a plot hole. I think they're just somewhere else. Sometimes things
That's a plot hole.
Not really.
When you can't explain where they were.
They're just somewhere else. I think they're somewhere else sometimes. It's like where's anything? Oh, it's not here.
Oh, actually, what are you saying? That's a good point.
Yeah, because what you're saying is so
Don't kick
rude.
me.
I'm trying to resettle my groin. So yeah, I think there's some good points. I'm right at the edge.
Cillian Murphy, and it opens okay.
You know, it's really good.
Tell me something about the film, like.
Well, just like the kind of tension in it, the characters that you meet, because in your head,
This is what I sound like when I don't have it.
no, but in your head, it's kind of easy and cliche to imagine a post-apocalyptic world. Certainly nowadays it is.
Yeah.
But 28 Days Later was really at the beginning of the entrance into this world, so it was a chance for them to make these characters you can think, okay, the army guys are going to be a bit rapey because they're a bit masculine or whatever it is like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a woman, but let's have her be hard. You expect a woman to be the damsel in distress. But
Yeah.
she's not the damsel in distress at all in this. So that there's a chance to take some kind of cliched stuff and present it, and also take cliched stuff and put a twist on it before anyone else had really entered the genre in the modern era. So that was great. And there's a great tension in the building in the scenes where the monsters are coming after you. Like you remember when they end up at the military and they have one tied up, chained up, and part of you goes, oh, the humanity, because they're kind of human looking.
Yeah.
But then you see it rearing like a dog. So you jumped there? You got a little scared when I did that. Scary, right?
Yeah, jump scares are cheap, like.
Jump scares are cheap, yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But you know what? A whore is cheap, but they're still good.
So one thing about 28 Days Later, I didn't like the
Andrew's
end.
messing with me. I want
the
you to
end
know
of
the
it.
whole time. Andrew's messing with me right now.
I'm not messing with you. I'm not. Yeah, somehow we nearly won me over with that. So you got to argue with here, bro.
Like, it has a terrible ending. Like, they fight
Hereditary?
no, 28 Days
Nobody
Later.
remembers it.
They fight the military guys, and then they kind of get away, and the main guy gets shot, but then it turns out he's just okay. And then they fast forward to another 28 days later, and they're just living in a cottage, and then some people come flying by in an airplane and rescue him.
I mean,
And that's it, like, it's such a shit ending,
if
like.
you say it like that, anything is a shit ending. Oh, well, they built these two towers and they made them the economic heart of the world, and then, they fired a few planes into him, and then they caught the guy in a cave, and then, that was it. They threw him into the ocean.
No.
Shit ending.
No.
That was amazing. America won at last.
The last episode, you were giving out about American liberation. or whatever.
We're living in the present. It's Halloween. Everyone gets presents.
No, but I just don't think it's a good ending. It's like, because there's no, it's just like, oh, here's a little happy ending for you.
Okay, I like your argument that it doesn't have a good ending because neither me nor Andrew remembers the ending of Hereditary. That's my favourite part about that argument. I don't flipped it.
You did not flip it. The end of the Hereditary is like intentionally left ambiguously open, and I like that kind of ending.
I do like an ambiguous ending, but I
Like-
don't like when I can't even remember it because it's so pointless.
But they always leave them open in these crappy horror films because they want to make a cheap. They want to make a remake and make it buy more popcorn. Whereas in A Quiet Place,
That's already been eliminated. That's
some
let's
of the cinemas started not selling, closed down most of their concession stands because people enjoyed watching the film in the quiet. Like a true horror film.
I hate
Really good
that.
point.
If
Really
that's
good
if
point.
that's the thing that like people are being too noisy when
That's
eating
'cause you're
popcorn.
a big oaf.
No, that should be true of every film. Why is Quiet Place suddenly a film that they're like, oh no, everybody should respect this
Because it
film?
was a good film.
Yeah.
Hereditary.
So what else is a good film?
People are going to talk about A Quiet Place in 10 years' time. Hereditary That isn't even a word. People aren't going to talk. No one doesn't spell it. Nobody's ever said that word before, right?
That's true.
But it's not going to go down in the annals of history as a good film.
The annals of history.
I don't know which one is right. I've only ever read that word.
It's annals, but I do agree.
Which film
are we arguing for?
I do agree that Hereditary is not going to go down the annals of history.
I completely disagree with
I
that
also
because
agree that A Quiet Place is going to be as forgotten as Jim Belushi's entire career.
Andrew nearly threw up everywhere.
I don't even know what to say. Oh God.
I was like, we're not even arguing. We're not talking about A Quiet Place.
I know, yeah.
Oh shit.
So anyway, we're not arguing about A Quiet Place. That's not the film that we're talking about.
That's fair enough. So I think we're ready to vote.
Did I say anything else good about Hereditary again?
Anything else to say? I have some notes on why Hereditary is good, actually. Great cast, I said? What? That's not true. Okay,
It is a great cast.
The kid was good.
The kid is good. The boy kid was really good.
He's really good. The mother's really good though. Like you said,
really
that
good.
scene when her daughter's dead
And she's howling.
howling on the floor, that was really
She's very good.
I don't enjoy the whole distraught mother thing in films.
yeah.
It's too painful.
You're right. When her daughter got her head chopped off and she found it, she probably should have been happy about that.
the whole tormenting mother thing and all, I think it's just done to death. It's Babadook done it.
Let's fire off a couple of movies.
Right, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to like this, but I'm voting for Hereditary. Stephen?
I'll have to vote for Hereditary as well. It's just
okay, that's
the
all right.
most horrible film. It's so.
I love it.
It's horrible. 28 days later, yeah, it's a bit jump scare, but everything's the same color in the whole film. Like,
Yeah, it's very grey, isn't it?
yeah, it's very grey. Like, what would you go for, Andy?
I'd vote for 28 Days Later because Hereditary is just bad. Crap. Dark.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Dark in what sense?
Shot dark.
Dark colors on the screen. Oh yeah, you don't really like that.
There you go.
Whereas 28 Days Later was all grey.
It's much
Which is a step
easier
up.
So finally, then in the semi-finals, we have Get Out, chosen by me, versus The Thing by Stephen. So we didn't really hear much about The Thing in the first round. Tell us something about it, Steve.
I may have fired off all my bullet points at the very end of the last round, but I'll go again, you know? So Kurt Russell obviously is brilliant in the film. And this is Kurt Russell at like a point in his career where he was still at the races. Like, you know, nowadays he's maybe not up there. Like,
Who?
Kurt Russell.
Was Kurt Russell not in Guardians of the Galaxy too?
Yes.
He was, yeah.
And in loads of other things. What do you mean not at the races?
Yeah, but he wasn't very good in those films.
I thought he was good.
That's fair enough. The thing is,
He was good in the Fast and Furious films.
he's
that he was
even
in.
he's even better in the thing that you haven't seen. Kurt Russell is great in it. It's a great performance by him. The special effects in this film are phenomenal. The real special effects.
They're primo, like.
It's none of this like, you know, kind of Marvel CGI
Yeah.
nonsense.
I feel like it's a very tired thing to like for people to argue like, oh, practical effects are better than CGI. Like, but
It is a bit
in this
more.
movie, they really are.
They really are better.
If that was all CGI stuff, it just wouldn't be as good.
No, I wouldn't be scared.
No.
But like, and you can see
It looks so freaky, like
it looks so messed up, and you
Yeah.
can see, oh, that dog with all these tendrils coming out of it is an animatronic. Like you can, you can see it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
But you're still you're just left to marvel at like the creation of this.
Yeah.
What I would consider to be a piece of art. Like, it really is amazing. There's some of the great things about the film. I mean, if we speak more broadly about the general ambience it creates in this snowy, beautiful scenery, which creates a backdrop of tension of, I cannot leave this place and get help. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas in whatever horrible film you're arguing for, Hereditary,
Get Out.
well, I suppose it's similar in the sense that he can't reach out for help. I mean, he does have that outside friend who's a bit gimmicky.
Yeah, he is.
Every time he contacts the outside friend, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Always putting in a joke.
Yeah.
And like, your man's a comedian, the director, writer, is it?
Jordan Peele,
Jordan Peele is a comedian, like, so you can see where it's coming from. It's a little bit gimmicky, I thought.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Oh, interesting.
Like, so my whole thing, at least the last few episodes now of doing this podcast, I just make negative things about the things that aren't my pick. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I want to try and win. So I went and I watched the thing a few days ago. I said, let's just make notes of things, right? Here's my big long list of all my notes about the film. Can you see how many I have?
It's most of the phone.
One of them is a negative.
Alrighty.
Because that film is so damn good.
It's very well
Like-
written, very well balanced.
one of the most amazing things about it is like it creates this thing. The whole idea is the thing can take over anybody and take their place and make a clone of them, and you just don't know.
You don't know who's good and who's bad.
So by halfway into the film, literally anything anyone does, you're like, is he actually a person or is he a thing? Or like he's doing something good, but is he doing that to play a trick on them so they don't realize he's a thing and all this stuff? And there's a bit where like they kind of reveal that Kurt Russell is a thing, right? But because the thing is that when it takes over them, it damages their clothes. So then they find some clothes of his with his name on it, and they're like, "Oh no, he's one of them." And he comes in, he goes, "Well, no. What if it was just like someone just messed it up because they know that's the evidence that you would know?" And then eventually it does turn out that he wasn't a thing, but you fully like you still don't know.
So who put the clothes there?
One of the other people, one of the things. You don't know. It's this ambiguity.
I really don't.
And I don't remember this.
It's so good. Like that's one of the best things about that film.
You're
Like,
doing God's work here. Right?
I know because I like this film is so good, and I like honestly I feel like it's going to win the whole thing because I don't know how to argue against it because I love John Carpenter. I love his films.
I am a Carpenter, so I like that.
That's true too. And even the soundtrack in the film is so good. Like it's a really understated and quiet thing, and it works really well. Like.
But why didn't you tell me to watch it?
I have no recollection of this.
You didn't sell this film to me at all.
I just said it's one of the greats. I picked classics. I picked The Wicker Man. I picked The Thing.
I picked classics.
One other film I can't remember. You picked the classics? What did you pick? Good Quiet Place is not a classic. You make me sick.
Babadook. If you Google up best horror films, Babadook is
Babadook is
on
up
it.
there.
And I don't know why because
I really don't know why it's so.
But sure, we don't like horror films.
the only negative I had about the thing, the only negative I had about the thing is like towards the end where they're like trying to blow up the bad guy.
The
Thing, and one of them like sees one of the other ones kind of goes into a room, and he's like, "Oh, the guy went into the room. Where did he go? I'll just go wandering in." And he sees the guy being dragged away, and instead of saying like to the other fella, "Oh, something's going on," he just goes, "Sure, I better go in here myself and have a little look." And it's like, why would you go in there by yourself? Like,
Yeah, he must have been the thing or something. I don't know.
no, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't.
That's a plot hole.
Yeah, that's literally the
That's a
only.
plot hole.
So
That's literally the only bad thing in the film.
Okay, so I would. That's interesting that at the end of it that you've had this issue. Like I find that I had a big issue at the end of Get Out, which was all this tension is happening. He's run away from the house. He's done crashed the car. He shot somebody. People are getting shot. All this is gonna. Cops come save him. It's all everything's safe. He gets back in the car with his mate, and there's a real moment for this comedy sort of relief character to say something. And he's just saved everybody's life. There's a lot of blood now, and he goes, "I told you not to go in that house." But he says it with like an accent. And it's
Well, you
like-
said it with an accent.
Yeah, but he
So
says
we got
it with
that
a
there was
funny
an
accent.
oh.
Funny accent. But he throws in comedy, and he just you had a chance there to
I think
make
he throws
it,
away the tension or whatever.
throws it all away, like pulls you straight out of it, and you're like, it's not.
But I think at that point you're already in a relief stage anyway. Do you know what I mean? The bad, like, there's no more bad to come at that point. So I think it makes sense to put something funny there.
I wouldn't agree because I think it's if it's going to be a horror film, I don't want the film to end with comedy.
I get you. I understand that.
Andrew, you're
just despairing about all this.
What's going
You're
on,
just
bro?
too scared about horror films.
You gave out about Shaun of the Dead being a comedy. That was your first thing.
Yeah.
And now you're saying that it's good that it's a comedy. Get out.
It's not a comedy. The film's not a comedy.
film.
Well, if it's a horror film,
it has
why
a
should it have...
It has many comedic elements to the film now. I would say that.
It has moments of levity.
Steven's wagging his finger. Normally when he's wagging his finger, something's right.
I agree with you.
Well, normally something's happening anyway.
Something.
But yeah, like I think Get Out is a fantastic film and definitely one of the most recent like best horror films. But I think The Thing is an all-time classic.
I'd agree.
And so for me personally, I'm going to vote for The Thing, even though it's not my pick. And that's not something that's going to happen much on this podcast because I will always argue for my picks.
Yeah, I remember last week you argued against Superman.
Yeah, because Spider-Man's better. Let's not get back on that train because I was right. I was right
You
in that.
argued for Daredevil against Superman in the first film.
Yeah, but sure, that was right too.
Yeah, I'll also vote for The Thing, even though I feel like it was better and I can't remember The Thing. You've really convinced me. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'll vote for a thing because James is usually right about these things, and now he's made me want to watch it.
Thing.
And also that band, the Ting Tings.
That'll get cut.
Well, there we go. That's our winners for the second round. In the final is Hereditary and The Thing. But before we get there, there's one special place we need to take a trip to, and it's called Andy's Corner.
We should rename this Andy's phone because every time it starts, Andy takes out his phone.
Well, now, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
You, Mr. who gets on to me about not listening to the podcast, so Mr. I edit everything. At the start of Andy's Corner last week, James made a comment, an off-the-cuff comment, that hurt my feelings, it sounds like. And he said, oh, well, usually Stevie has his phone out, but this week he has nothing, so I'm worried. So which one is it? You're telling me to keep the phone out, you're telling me to put the phone away. Both of you have your phone in your hands. Andy's Corner is closed this week. No, it's not closed.
I thought that was actually really good. That was a really good point. Well made, Andy.
Thank you.
I feel like I need to support Andy's Corner more.
I feel like
down on it.
I feel like
all of that was a bit of a moot point, and I might just cut all that out, and we'll just go into the actual Andy's Corner.
Well, I want to say that I'm supporting Andy's Corner more from now on.
No, I feel like it's more fun when you just hate it straight away.
I support you.
Now I feel awkward. Now it's like there's something expected of me though.
For the first time in your fucking life. Do something this week. Come on, I think you have small notes. That's good. Quick, let's go.
It's just a pop quiz again.
Right, it's over. Podcast.
Oh my god. Another
Let's go.
pop quiz.
Well, no, it's not a pop quiz. It's just
Let's
three
go.
questions. It's just three questions.
Do it.
Isn't like pop quiz
Nobody
like meant to be really fast?
Nobody introduced Andy's Corner properly.
It just happened.
I did.
The theme song played.
I sang
We've been
Andy's
talking for
Corner.
ages.
The theme song has played.
I still haven't started talking. Right,
You've been talking.
James,
You being
That's
talking,
me.
boy.
you can pick 3 companions during a zombie apocalypse.
Uh-oh.
What would be their professions?
What does that mean?
Their jobs.
Their
James.
jobs. It's like he doesn't even
Have
have
a
a
job.
You're asking the wrong man.
Can I hire 3 professional zombie killers to protect me?
Oh, Genie can have a magic lamp like an asshole.
Oh God, can I have a bigger dick? Yeah, we all want things, James.
We're not talking about Claire's wishes here.
I don't know, like an army guy, a golf pro, and a lumberjack.
Okay,
Why an
army
lumberjack?
guy. Army guy.
What?
Swinging axes.
Right, okay.
Why an army guy?
Pew, 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 pew.
Right? Why?
He was
Swing.
He's just playing a top-down zombie game.
Yeah.
His whole life.
I'd play that game.
You know how JD in Scrubs has his inner monologue? Steve or James sees everything in 2D.
He's
top
in an
down.
RPG.
Yeah. What about you?
What's the question?
Uh,
Am I getting the same question as James got or a different question?
no, a different question. Because that one took so long. You're out with a group of people and the conversation bores you. What would you,
Oh, that sounds familiar.
what would you say to change it?
I'd wait till one of them went to the toilet and then I put my dick in their pints.
Okay, and this last one is for both of you. If every time you entered a room you had entrance music, what would be the song?
It's got a bit of John Cena music for me.
Right.
Don't Stop Me Now.
What? He's only picking songs that he remembers from 3 minutes ago.
That's true. That was my answer also.
Alright, that's it. See you later.
Can I ask you why you picked zombies and you've been harping on about how much you hate zombies all night?
Because I'm thinking about trying to have a team towards our
The topic of the episode.
Yeah.
I-
I have Andy's Corner for next week already.
The episodes where I've
It's not written down, but it's
That'll be forgotten.
the once or twice where it's coincidentally Knucklebutt's hole has been some way thematically related to the episode have been the ones I felt the best about. The ones where it's nowhere related, I feel kind of stupid doing it. So think
I
that's
always
a good
feel
idea.
stupid when you start talking about Knucklebutt as well.
Yeah, the Knucklebutt corner is not great. I think it needs.
I like the Knucklebutt thing.
I think it needs a big improvement. The corner does.
But I think it's a good way to promote
That's a topic for
Knucklebutt.
another Andy's corner next week. We can talk about ideas for improving Knucklebutt's corner, and the Knucklebutt's corner will just play Andy's theme music.
Well, let's dive into the final matchup then. We have Hereditary, chosen by me, versus The Thing, chosen by Steve-O. Could this be Steve's?
I mean, James, how are we going to get past your argument for the thing there? It was so good, such a good argument.
Yeah,
I know.
and Hereditary, Andrews just doesn't like it.
Well, I don't like any of these films, right? No, I like two of the films I chose. I put in Babadook because I was told,
By someone who likes horror films.
who's a big fan of horror films, that this was the best horror film ever. And then this person that I watched it with me again, and she thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
When she originally seen it, she was like, "Oh, that's."
Was she seen it with her mates or something? Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on who you're with sometimes. Like,
But she watched it with her mates or something, did she?
What?
I edited around that, I guess.
Sorry,
It doesn't matter, it's fine. The noise is fine.
I do that like constantly.
I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed.
So, James, can you tell me why Hereditary should win over The Thing?
Like, which one do you think is better, Jim? Because you like The Thing a lot.
Yeah, okay. Like, Hereditary would have been my pick before I watched The Thing. 100%. And now it's pretty close because I want Hereditary to win because it's my pick. Hereditary is a good example of like modern horror films, I think.
That are trash.
No, it's a really good one of a horror film. It really is. And it's like...
Did it have another good point apart from... Well, it's not even a good point. A horrible point you said where the girl's head got chopped off or whatever.
Yeah.
Did it have another point that you enjoyed in the film?
That enjoyed as a part of the horror genre? Or just enjoyed because...
Either.
I liked the thing of her art, her work that she did, which was make these little dioramas.
Yeah.
And they're all based on real life, and she put real life events into the dioramas. I thought it was deadly. I'd watch a whole film about that.
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't expand on that enough. They kind of left them to where they were then.
No, but like that's part of the whole like aesthetic of the film, like is the blending between like it's about her. A lot of the film is about her descent into like kind of madness. Do you know what I mean? But it's also then about the blending of like her work that she does and how that fits in with the world of the film. Like, and so much of the film is shot as if it's a dollhouse.
Was
that
it?
they're in? Yeah,
that's true.
I didn't pick that up.
It's like
You're behind the couch crying.
Yeah, the film.
so scared.
Like I did say before, but like the film is beautifully shot. Like it's so like every shot has a purpose. Like
I didn't. I thought it looked like a TV show.
I completely disagree.
A
with
TV
that.
show I wouldn't watch on a channel that I'd flick past.
Like there's an amazing opening shot.
Why is your man Gabriel Byrne like 76 years old with a bad gut and he's going out with a trim 44-year-old with bad plastic surgery? Doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't think she's 44.
Yeah, I don't think she was that.
I think.
But I didn't think the
Gabriel Byrne. Sure, it's Gabriel Byrne.
I give him one but I just didn't see the two. I didn't see that as a.
But he doesn't look 77. I might feel it.
76, which is what I said. I just didn't see that as being a relationship, and like they've got this daughter. My wrist is sore, so I have to hold it up. Leave me alone.
No, you've been gesticulating all night.
Yeah, now I have sore.
Okay, that's fair enough. But the rest of the time you're.
So that didn't feel. It didn't feel true to me, that relationship. I didn't see it.
I understand that, but I mean, people of different ages have relationships, so. It's a weird.
I didn't like it. Like,
yeah. Okay, fair enough. But it just seems like a weird criticism.
I don't know why my note is that Hereditary is a good soundtrack, but that was my note when I watched the film. I made a note saying a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
So fair play to it.
I thought the music worked really well in the film.
It was that good.
I was trying to say there's an amazing shot at the start of the film where like it zooms into her dollhouse and the camera kind of pitches around and turns, and then it turns into the actual son's bedroom.
Yeah, that was a great shot, and I couldn't see the seam. I never could see.
No, I couldn't either. Like I've watched it back a few times, like, and it does a really.
Which obviously they've covered with CGI.
It could be.
Didn't have the.
Speaking of good long shots, in Shaun of the Dead at the start, he goes to the shop to get the cornettos.
Yeah.
One single shot.
I love that.
Well, they do that twice. They do it twice, like one that time, and then
also
after the zombies all come, and they repeat so many of the same things, like, but with a twist.
It's really, really great.
It's really good.
Yeah, but it's not a horror film.
Yeah. But
so is the Thing a horror film?
The Thing absolutely is a horror film.
It's a classic horror film.
Oh yeah, it's a classic horror film. Like the Thing. One weird thing about the Thing is, right, when that came out, like for some reason,
he's just googling other stuff.
I know, yeah.
No. I'm taking some of the lads I'm meeting tomorrow.
Not even paying attention. Like, for some reason, when the Thing came out, like everybody hated it.
I remember reading that actually. I was like, because I did read about this though. I can read.
And like I think within like 5 years, everyone was like, "Oh wait, no, this film was amazing."
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it was because everyone like liked sci-fi, but they thought they just wanted like optimism in their films, and this film was too bleak.
Yeah,
dark.
It's funny that happens a bit though, doesn't it?
I know, it's weird.
The film isn't.
The John Carpenter, that the film was like really badly received when it came out.
But a film isn't appreciated. It happens sometimes that the film isn't appreciated.
Yeah, it happens
a lot of things.
Yeah.
And critics, God, they're awful. They don't have a clue.
Yeah.
They don't have a clue. If you go and listen to that first Paul McCartney album he did after the Beatles broke up, it's a masterpiece. It's a real masterpiece. Critically panned because at the times it was in favour to follow John Lennon. That's what the critics were doing.
Yeah.
And now John Lennon it's not cool to like John Lennon anymore because he's a wife beater. Like.
Oh really, isn't it?
Yeah, he didn't beat the bad wife either. He bet the good one, the English one.
Well, on that point, I'm ready to vote, I think, because, like, personally, I loved Hereditary, but like The Thing is an all-time classic. It really is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to vote for The Thing as well because I can't vote for Hereditary because it's trash.
And also Kurt Russell in the 80s, like
I can get better than
peak
that.
handsomeness. How can you go wrong?
Yeah, he's very handsome. But I'll have to vote for Hereditary. Such a horrible film. It's
Really?
horrible. I just don't like it. It's so scary. Don't like it. Horrible thing to see. Didn't like it.
That's fair enough. Is this the first time we've had a complete switch around in the final?
No, I think it's happened before. It's kind of a thing I do.
Not mean you switching around your opinion. I mean, like, you've changed which film you were going for, and I changed which one I was going for.
Well, we've only been doing the who's going for what
Yeah,
in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But I just want to point out that you're starting this tally now of who's won, film has won.
Yeah.
I still get a point for that, even though I didn't vote for it. Right?
Yeah. It's the thing.
So you don't get a point?
This is the first one that my pick has won the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
There you go. The Thing has won.
The thing. Congratulations.
Yes. Stephen becomes the most recent winner and then the current king of the podcast. We were supposed to call you the king of the podcast at the start this week,
Oh, yeah.
but we forgot.
Because you've actually won like 4 of the podcasts, your picks.
I think I won like 4 in a row there, did I?
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
And you won the first one.
Did I win the first one? What was the first one?
you won. Who knows? Come on. You're
Breaking Bad.
asking questions nobody knows.
On TV shows.
Yeah. I flipped you in that one, baby.
I don't
Flipped
remember
you
Breaking
over.
Bad. It's not even TV. And go back and listen to the first podcast to really understand what we're talking about there.
Now.
But don't listen to the first one, listen to the second one. First one's a bit long.
They're all a bit long in my opinion.
And if you want to share an opinion about how long the show is, you can contact us on all the social medias, like we said. Leave reviews, as Stephen said, and share with people if you like. If you enjoy the show, sharing it with someone else is the best way to help out the show and incentivize us to make more episodes. And well, I enjoy making the show anyway.
Incentivize us.
He's rubbing his fingers in a money motion. You can't see that because there's a podcast.
The thing
I
is,
got money.
we haven't truly monetized it yet, but we are looking at alternative revenue streams such as merch, right? And as you've been enjoying this dulcet tones of our horrible voices with bad reverb, we've been sipping out of some delicious Doyle Boys podcast mugs. You can see these, very good. You can see these on our Instagram. The first ever post by our social media manager. So if you want to get some horny for some horny little mugs, horn yourself over to Instagram.
Make it quick because there's only 3 of them.
So where can you find each of us on the internet? Stephen, where are you at these days?
Same as I was the last 7 podcasts. So go back and listen to them and you'll find out.
No. You can find me at Games Plus James on all the cool places. And in an interesting note, I've got a new course out probably when this episode drops.
No self-promotion on.
Oh yeah,
Cross
self-promotion.
promotion, yeah. Cross promotion.
That's what it's all about, boy. And also my game, Skookaboom and the Tomb of Doom, will be on sale when the podcast goes up.
On sale?
On Halloween sale on Steam.
Skookaboom and the Tomb of Doom.
That's the one.
And is there a link to this somewhere where links there?
Oh, I'll put a link in the description.
There'll be links there.
That's the good place for it.
Skookaboom and
Andrew, what about you? Where
never
can we
mind
find
him,
you?
he's got
I'll
nothing.
be scoop-kabooming in your mom's bedroom. Yatch.
We have the same map.
No, I mean the listeners. The listeners.
Some of the listeners are your aunt.
Some of the listeners is my mom.
Dun, dun, dun.